Shoot. Well, welcome to 2012. You don't believe me that in 2012 you shouldn't. I'm lying to you.
Why didn't I get more screen time?
Why did you get more screen time?
Why didn't I?
You were in that episode like a ton. You were like 15 lines. That's like 10 times as much as you usually get.
I still don't believe you.
Well, believe it, baby. Believe.
Thank you.
Believe.
Hello, sir.
Hello. First, awesome. Second, out of every series you could possibly poke fun on.
Wait, you called him awesome, but I was trying to say
I told you these guys are jerks.
Come on, Jake.
No.
The question. Out of every series you could have poked fun on, why Yu-Gi-Oh?
Have you seen it? But seriously, Blake's leaving in disgust, I'm sorry. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm 100% serious when I say that, and I hope there are people in here who love Yu-Gi-Oh! Because honestly, someone was like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi transforming in a very apathetic way. Yu-Gi-Oh! I really do genuinely love those characters. And I was introduced to the show when I was trying to watch Pokemon, actually. You can understand my confusion because they kind of seem very similar. But they're not that similar, actually. It's really interesting to me having watched it the way I did, because I was expecting it to be just this show that was just a marketing tool, like to sell card games, and it is a little bit, but it's also a story that has a beginning, middle, and an end with these characters that go on this journey, and I love it. I love everything about it, and I also love everything that's wrong with it. I think is a good thing, you know. I love the fact that it's so over the top and serious, and there's the heart of the cards and that nonsense. But and like with everything I love, I wanted to tear it to pieces and make videos about it, and make fun of it. So yeah, I made Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I have a passion for the show, and thankfully I have a passion for the show, because otherwise I've spent the last 8 years making a show that I didn't care about. But yeah, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I really do, and if you haven't seen it, give it a shot, because I don't do it justice.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Here's Dante.
Dante?
Dante.
Dante, for real, yeah.
For real?
For real.
I like your Inferno.
Hi, Dante.
She's hot.
Did you want some more?
Jeez. Hi.
Hi, I'm Martin. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
I have two questions. My first question is it weird to sit here and listen to your voice and all of these different voices on TVs? I mean, I'm sure you're used to it by now, but oh my gosh, I would find it so funny.
It's really weird. And it's one of those things that you think you'd get used to, but at the end of the day, I can't get used to that, because it's just so surreal. It's very rare that I can listen to my voice and not realize, and take myself out of the whole creative process. It's going to sound really pretentious, but I listen to my voice often, and I can totally tell it's just me doing a stupid voice. But episode 45 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, where it has Marek's, like, as a young kid when he kills his dad, and it's a really uplifting story. I watched the episode and I can't tell it's me. Like, there's something about my performance in that episode where I'm like, I could watch this and not be self-aware. You know, I get very self-conscious when I listen to myself. The really weird thing for me, though, is I actually have done a bunch of professional voiceover gigs recently, and I got to see myself on TV as a character. I was casting a show called Peyton Min Min. You guys have the Canadian version over here on Disney. What's the channel? Disney something. XD, possibly, I don't know. But we did a British version, which is really surreal that they had to dub from Canadian to British. They weren't apologetic enough. But I got the role of Mim Mim, who was this big purple bunny. I don't know how many of you have seen the footage from the show or even seen pictures. But I'm this big CGI purple bunny who's this little girl's imaginary friend. And in the original, he has this very goofy sort of Roger Rabbit, a deeper version of Roger Rabbit voice. And when I auditioned, I basically just did British Tristan. Yeah. And I got the part, so Tristan's the main character now. It's really surreal to watch, to turn the TV on and see myself, because I visited England a couple of times since then, and it's really bizarre to be able to because it's on DVD as well. That's really weird for me. I'm in the KO movie as well. That's really, I'm like 12 British people.
I have more reasons.
It's really strange. But yeah, I'll never get used to it. It's very weird.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
It shows your success.
Yes.
Second of all, this is a request, and
Oh, yes.
stop me if she needs to. But I have been trying for 5 years to get your autograph, and I have always been too busy up in the Maid Cafe, which I run, and which you're free to visit, and I will serve you and give you lots of information.
Do you want me to sign something for you?
Can you please?
I don't have a Sharpie on me right now.
I have a pen.
Somebody has a Sharpie.
Who's got a Sharpie? Get Sharpies!
Way to go, Jay.
Sharpie. Oh, no, Sharpie. I want to check something. Let's make a standing ovation for the pen. Thank you. Is it really Dante? Okay, fantastic. That's the most badass name. Your parents are like, we want our kid to be badass. So that she can host the main cafe. For those of you who are curious, who enjoy me in some shape or form, I have a table in the vendors hall which I'll be at all weekend. Tomorrow I'll be there from 10 to 6, I believe. And I'm happy to talk, I'm happy to take pictures, I'm happy to sign things, I'm happy to do voices, anything you want, anything you want.
I have more of a reason
I do
to watch
not
the K-Hop
play
movie now.
video.
I'm trying
This game's like 5 episodes. We'll be there all day.
My probably could beat you.
What's that?
My probably could beat you.
Mine could be. That's cold, man. I thought we were friends. Anyway,
We have Alex Justice. And yes, that's his real name.
Dante and then Alex Justice. I feel like this is a superhero team.
Oh my God, it's David Bowie!
Wait, I'm Naruto.
Keep telling you, I'm not David Bowie.
Oh, hello, David Bowie!
I'm kind of fond of you as well, Naruto.
All right, on to a serious note. I have 2 questions.
That was very serious, though.
All right,
You don't appreciate my love.
I love you, David Bowie.
all right. Now 2 questions.
Yes.
First one. We know that One Kid's Entertainment is going to be editing Yu-Gi-Oh! A Bridge series.
Yes.
Yeah, what you said. What? Okay. Is he also going to be editing the Naruto spoof series too? Or?
No, I'm still editing the Naruto spoof because that's my baby. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge is my baby, but it's baby I've given up for adoption in a way. Would you like this baby? For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, I still write, voice, and direct Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, but when I'm done with all those parts of the process, I give it to my friend Mike, One Kids Entertainment, who makes a Pokemon Bridge, because I got to the point where it's hard to describe. I really wasn't able to do it justice because I was so stressed out and I'm dealing with some personal stuff and I have so many projects going on and I'm doing professional voiceover that it was one of those things where the episodes just weren't going to get done if I had to sit there and edit it for weeks after I was done with that. So what you saw there was his work, and I think you'll agree it was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to be doing that, and it's going to get done much quicker as a result. So thanks to One Kids, you guys are probably going to actually see Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge get a full run and finish and have an ending. So otherwise, but no, Naruto's Spoof, that's something that when I'm editing it, I tend to change a lot of the jokes, so I feel like it would lose something. Some of its amazing, sophisticated humor. Farts!
Alright, and my second one is...
Ninjas farting!
Alright, and my second one is...
Clandestine farts! Nobody knows if they're there or not.
Now my second one's more of a request. I like watching Futurama, and my favorite character is Lur of the planet Omicron Versailles 8.
Yes.
My favorite line from him is, "I built this castle with my own 2 slaves." And I was wondering if we could hear you as Pharaoh Yugi shout out, "I built this castle with my own 2 slaves."
Okay.
It's pyramid.
I have more than 2 though. I built this castle with my own 2 slaves. You're interested in my slaves. How's it going? Do you have a badass name as well?
We have Ben from South Milwaukee.
Not nearly as badass as that. Cool.
Well, once you thank you, man, my actually named after a very old TV character. If you ever watched the show MASH.
MASH? Which character?
My full name is Benjamin Franklin. So I'm named after Benjamin Franklin.
Wait!
That's badass.
If you told us his name was Benjamin Franklin, I would have been so blown away. He was Batman, so I was not impressed. But now
My middle name is...
everybody in this line has like an amazing name, don't they? Sorry,
I his name's Fish Cheese. Always play sounds bad. But
Cheese dog.
I got 2 things here.
Okay.
One,
Are they questions?
one's a question, one's a request.
Okay.
That's okay.
Because some people have 2 things and they have no idea.
Keep it under 18 plus, guys.
Everyone's giggling. I'm just
You
saying.
might want to stop. You might have to stop that. For episode 69, will there be any references to the vagina monologues?
Only in your brain. The vagina monologue, how many people saw the vagina monologue video? Sorry, half of you at least. That video is one of the reasons I met my wife. We're married, so... There's not much of a story. She saw the vagina monologues video and thought it was funny, so she wanted to talk to me.
Hey there, I saw your video. I like the way you totally mentioned about vaginas about like 20
You're not a very good variant.
Yeah, that's my wife does not sound anything like that. Some butcher than me, so... the 2 things that drew her to me in regards to my show were the vagina monologues and Shadi. My terrible Borat impression. So, I don't know. I guess she has good taste. But will there be references to the vagina monologues?
In episode 69, hint, hint.
I can safely say probably not.
Aww.
But who knows? Maybe I'll put one in there. That's what she said. What was the request?
The request was I was totally hoping if you would actually say instead of Papa's voice.
Yeah.
That.
How much money are you offering me?
$2 my wallet that
I
helped.
built this room with my own 2 slaves.
It's the 2 German guys.
I'm gonna play some cards and I got $6 million in my pocket. What's the request?
But I was hoping instead of Papa's voice that you would actually yell at this audience calling us all Angelit fools.
All what?
Angelit fools.
Into what? What is that? Ingenuity?
Yes.
What does that mean? I'm gonna look this up real quick. Good looking and say, no, I have 5 bars there. What? Is this somebody diss somebody? What happened? How do you spell it?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've actually failed spelling.
Engineering, right?
Engineering.
I don't know what that means, but here we go. You're all a bunch of engineering idiots! Yeah! That word means something. Maybe. Not a word, bro. Shut up! Hello, Batman.
We have Johnny Cheese Dog.
God damn it!
Johnny Cheese Dog.
Cheese Dog.
I'm wondering, in regards to the new season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, will you be bringing sexy back?
Will be returning. Because he's in that season of the show. So, unless I edited him out somehow.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge goes to twice its normal size.
I need an adult.
Badass name. Sam. Whoa. Back off, Sam is here. What is Sam short for?
Just Sam. I'm so badass, I don't need a badass.
There you go. Master duelist Sam.
Alright, so I kind of fangirl.
Oh no, you are badass because you've got those tattoos.
I'm extremely, yeah, 9. Just
9 tattoos. Her tattoos are amazing.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
That made my day, by the way.
Oh, made my day.
And that also just made my day. If you guys didn't notice, I'm a huge Duke fangirl, and he does not get enough love.
Duke Nukem is pretty great.
He's mine.
Lots of love though.
He's mine. My first thing is, after a personal battle, I really like to make mental health awareness a really big part of my life. So I want to give a personal thank you for making those videos and for... The second part, I've really been enjoying the Slender series with Merrick and Bakura.
Yes.
Am I doing anything with other characters as well?
Well, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I showed a kind of plays Five Nights at Freddy's at my 18+ panel.
Yeah!
Oh, it's at 10 p.m.
I'll be there.
Yeah, please be there. It's very funny. Very funny. Not many of my videos are funny. This one is.
I will try to be there.
Please do. It's a lot of fun.
There you go.
I recommend it. I actually, the video you will see is my legitimate first time playing Five Nights at Freddy's. It's actually Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And I've been told that the first stage, I know I jumped ahead. I've been told that the first stage of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is as hard as the third stage of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. But because I've never played the first one, I was even worse. I would have been if I'd played it. So you can tell that I suck. So I bet it's not going to be Vinyl. What is Nicole? Nicole, that's pretty awesome. I do.
I actually have like 2 short questions.
Sure.
Do you know anything about the next episode of Tome?
Oh. How many people here watch Tome?
Love Tome.
Oh, there's a decent number of you. Every time I do a panel, there's one. No, there's 1 or 2 people who watch that. For those of you who don't know, my good friend Kuriboh, who was the voice of Noah in Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, he animates a series called Tome, which is on its 2nd season right now, and it's a fantastic show. It's a lot of fun. It's similar to like Dot Hack. It's set in an MMO universe where the characters are going through this deep epic storyline. And I play the very annoying role-player character Nylok, who is a dragon guy, and he talks in basically ye old English, and refers to Curb as his squire. But the episode that just happened was the one where they go to the moon, right?
Yeah, they were just going to the moon.
They were going to the moon. I wish I could tell you what happens in the next one, but I recorded for all of them in 1 day, so I don't remember. I will tell you this though, Nylok, actually, he gets taken out pretty quick. I know it's shocking, but Curb will be angry with me for telling you guys. But Nylok gets taken out. Yeah. Say again? Please don't tell him. He'll be very angry with me. He always gets angry with me when I spoil his show. He should spoil my show, but then I'll be like, everyone's seen Yu-Gi-Oh! What is that?
I was just wondering, how do you spell the show's name?
Tome. It's Tone.
Okay.
It's extremely good. I highly recommend it. And thank you for watching.
What is it like playing Nylock, actually?
Nylock is one of my favorite roles ever because Curb wrote the character very differently in his original version of the show. He had a version called TV Tome Adventures back in the day on Newgrounds, and when he came to reimagine the show, he changed Nylock's character significantly. He became this over-the-top role player guy. But as the series progressed, he made it much more of a personal, like deep character. And there's an episode number 6 where it's a Nylock-focused episode, and I think it's the first really Nylock-heavy episode. And he's always in character, as you know. But in this episode in particular, he breaks character for the first time ever and just starts speaking. And Curb told me about this when we started making the show. He said, I'm going to have this moment where you stop doing the whole Nylock Dragon of doing the voice thing, and you just become you. And I'm like, what do you mean become me? And he said, just talk as you. And I was like, oh God, I don't know how to do that. It's strangely difficult to, when you spend like 8 years doing stupid voices, to be told, I just want you to talk. It was difficult. It was a very difficult performance, and I hope that I gave what he wanted, because he wrote this amazing scene where Nylock talks to the character Game Crazed, and basically Game Crazed speaks to him in a way that Curb was trying to speak to me, because what Nylock is he's this positive representation of everything. He just wants to make everybody else happy, even if it's to his own detriment. And Curb was like basically talking about me when he wrote those lines, and it's hard for me to watch that scene without crying, honestly. So yeah, it was a very personal scene, and as a result, that character's become very close to my heart. So yeah, it's great. It's great playing. It's a real honor. Thank you. I do recommend the show. It's very good.
Jake.
These names are getting worse as we go on.
You can also call me the card game fanatic.
No.
Okay, so I got 2 questions.
Yes.
First is, what is your favorite episode of the Universe?
What is my favorite? Which one?
Yours.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh? My favorite episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. It used to be episode 6. The one where Maker Tsunami was like, I'm going to throw a harpoon at you. People do that. Just because I loved that first scene, because that would be what would happen in real life. If someone threw a harpoon at you, you'd probably leave. You don't want to talk to them anymore. And then it established Mako as this insane person who talks to the ocean. That was the episode where the show started picking up this crazy amount of steam, and it started getting attention all over the place. So I'm proud of it for that. At the time when I released episode 6, I found this thread on the Penny Arcade forums that said Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and it was like 25 pages long, and I was like, whoa, wait, what? And I clicked on it, and people were saying, well, the quote that will stick with me to this day is, this is either the greatest thing ever or the stupidest thing ever. Yeah. Yeah, that was an episode I was very proud of. But having, I was talking about it earlier, episode 45, I can listen to that episode, like the dialogue and the character voices, and I don't think of me. I don't remember saying those words, and it doesn't sound like me. I don't know what it is. There's just something about young Marek. He's just this really over-the-top, energetic character, and I like that whole episode. I'm very proud of it. It's some of my best work, and I really wanted to do that story justice, because it's young Marek's creation, basically, and he's an important character, and also it's a challenge to make something that dark funny, and I like to think I managed it. You know, Marek tells me his dad, hilarious.
And the second question is, outside of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, what is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! series?
5Ds is probably my favorite. Here's the thing, 5Ds is easily the best Yu-Gi-Oh! series, and I don't mean that's my favorite. My favorite will always be the original, just the nostalgia factor, and because I love those characters so much. But the writing for 5Ds, particularly in the first 2 seasons, is incredible. It tells a really great story about these 5 guys who've just fallen apart and gone to the wayside and reuniting after all that time. And it stays true to the message of friendship and everything that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about, but it makes it a mature story, you know, and it must have been difficult to do that and still stay within the realms of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. But I think they pulled it off very well. And yes, the card games on motorcycles are kind of silly. But at the end of the day, the card games being played with yes. Get it out of your system, please.
Card game.
Card games on motorcycles.
But they are ridiculous, but at the same time, playing a card game with holograms to me is also ridiculous, so it's only slightly more ridiculous than Hello Shark with a scouter.
I have a really dorky question.
No, none of those questions were dorky, at least. Those will be weird.
People are going to get this, but choose which dimension do you side with? Fusion, Synchro, Exceeds, or Standard?
Am I basically picking which school I'm in Arc 5?
Dimension, but yeah.
Dimension?
Which Arc 5 dimension?
List them again?
List them again?
Fusion,
Yes.
Synchro,
Yes.
Exceeds,
Yes.
or Standard?
I choose Mega Evolution. This guy's awesome. I don't even need to know your name, I know you're awesome. Hello,
Matt, by the way.
Matt. Still awesome.
Well, this one's pertaining more to Marble Hornets and Slenderman.
Brilliant, yes.
So, because of you, that's why I found out about Marble Hornets and the Slenderman.
Fantastic.
Which, by the way, after watching that video, I went and looked at that, and I couldn't sleep that night, so thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope that you can sleep now.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. It's a convention, though, so you might struggle.
Well, I was wondering, what made you decide to put the Slenderman in the videos?
I was in a phase, I suppose, where I was really, I love horror in general. Horror is like my thing. Why are you applauding that? I like things. And Slenderman as a concept is great. He's like Pennywise the clown. He's terrifying. But Pennywise the clown. Stephen King, man, come on.
I thought you had Blue Eyes the Clown.
Blue Eyes the Clown. I saw Blue Eyes the Clown! Wait, what? Did I just kill a Blue Eyes as well? I was big into Slenderman for about, I do a video featuring the character Slenderman. But I want to do something funny with it. How do you make that guy funny? And if you've not seen Marble Hornets, I highly recommend that as well. It's a show about a guy who makes a student film. And then rather than finish making the movie, he gives all the footage to his friend and says, get rid of this, just get rid of it. And then his friend starts looking through his footage, and he sees that the Slenderman's been stalking, like he's been popping up in all these different scenes that they don't remember him being in. And my concept of a comedic version of that was, Slenderman is just the world's most aggressive photo bomber. so he's in every scene, he's like, hey, can I be in the movie too? I just started doing that voice, and it was just something that it really amused me, and I wanted to make a whole video about it, and I did. And the Marble Hornets guys actually really liked it, which I'm very happy to say.
Will Slenderman be making an appearance in the next upcoming season? Because I could totally see him with the occult of the Orichalcos. I could totally see him being a part of it.
Oh, God.
Slenderman will show up in episode 69 and make a vagina monologue. Can I be in the vagina too? It's okay. I'm sorry. Tim! How's it going, man?
I'm gonna make this easy. One question.
Don't do that.
For like how you did the Pokemon reference, are you going to make more references to other card games in more episodes?
Maybe. There's going to be an entire episode where they just play Magic the Gathering. I'm not really big into the card game scene, so I would struggle, but I mean, I was thinking about doing a Card Fight Vanguard abridged episode. For like an April Fool's Day. So it would still be a good episode. It just wouldn't be a full series. But yeah, I'm sure that at some point, I mean, it's a show about Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sure card games will feature at some point. surprisingly. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. I would like that better recipe. How's it going, man?
Good, how about yourself? Good, how about yourself?
I'm doing okay.
Kind of like 1.5 questions, I guess.
Are you just gonna stop talking halfway through?
Can we look forward to seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! GX abridged in the future?
It already exists.
Yeah, Shady Box.
Shady Box and Exodark one made one.
They made a version.
Say again?
Are you going to be doing your own version of it?
No, because they did an amazing version, and I feel like it would be redundant if I tried.
Okay, thank you.
They did a really fantastic job. What was the half question?
If you were to do Yu-Gi-Oh! GX abridged,
Yes.
would you just like cut Jade Yugi out and just Photoshop Yugi in everywhere?
Just a really badly photoshopped Yugi and Jaden's face the whole time. Show's instantly great. No. But do watch that GX. I'm just recommending everybody else's shows in this panel. Zach. His names are awesome.
So, first question, what's your current game interest that you're playing?
What's my current Oh, you guys are gonna judge me.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge panel, okay? I can judge you guys playing World of Warcraft. I told you guys would be like, oh no, we've lost one. Yeah, I'm playing World of Warcraft. I'm on Moon God. You know who plays WoW? Because those of you who know what Moon God is like, oh. It's the hardcore roleplay server. Because I love roleplay.
Also,
Yes.
You mentioned Duke Nukem. Could you, in your favorite Yugi voice, say Balls of Steel?
Like Yami Yugi or regular Yugi? I'll do both. Balls of steel! Giant hairy balls of steel. Perfect is the word I like. Hello? Are you the good one or the bad one? I'm sorry, have I intimidated you? I'm sorry.
So is my gator.
Okay. It's pointing right now.
It's
Diabolical. It's okay, no, you're good.
And I have a request that I'm sure everyone wants to hear. Instead of Kaiba, I want you to sing. I'm Seto Kaiba, screw the rules, I
I'm Seto Kaiba, screw the rules, I have money! No love for me. Hi, Haru. There's no water here. Well, actually...
I have a request. Could you sing Single Ladies as your favorite abridged character?
Oh, okay.
All Single Ladies.
Do it! Bye. What's my favorite? All the single ladies! All the single ladies! All the single ladies! All the single ladies! If you like it, then you should have put a Sasuke on it.
Hi. I have a question.
Fantastic.
When is your next Merrick Plays Bloodlines video?
Very soon. I'm getting through Kaiba Plays Five Nights at Freddy's right now, but that's a short game, so I imagine in a month or so you'll see more Merrick Plays Bloodlines.
Awesome, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for watching. Hello, hello.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that that scene was as cringeworthy as Vegeta's in the Battle of Gods movie. If you've seen that.
I know what you're referring to. Thank you.
And second of all, I wanted to ask how much you're looking forward to Yu-Gi-Oh! Ravy.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ravy, the new series, or Arc V.
Arc 5. I actually have seen Arc 5, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's the best. I think it's the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Since 5Ds, and I really am digging it. The protagonist is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, the protagonist is so cool because he does this thing where he deflects, basically. He makes himself look ridiculous so that people will laugh at him, and he's controlling the laughter rather than laughing at him, because they think he's ridiculous, stupid, because he had a bad experience in the past. And I get that, you know, I do that myself. I make people laugh just because then they won't hate me. Because that happens. But yeah, I really like it. It's really good. I really dig it. Which have one more?
We have time for 2 more.
2 more, really? Okay. Thank you for
If they're
coming
quick.
to the panel, by the way.
Okay, I'd like for you to do another song request of one of your characters. Are you familiar with the song by Ellen and Theo, I'm Sexy and I Know It?
No.
I'm sexy and
I know that part.
That's it?
That's the whole
There you
song?
go.
Who am I singing as?
Well, I guess it's either Yami or Merrick, just because you play with her.
I am sexy and I am aware of it.
Yeah.
You really don't know the song that well?
No.
Sorry. I'll give you the lyrics next time.
Thank you.
One last question. Also, FYI, this next panel is 10 to 11 o'clock in 201B.
The largest group panel. If you want
And
to see
it's
Kyber plays
18
Five Nights at
plus, so
Freddy's,
bring your IDs.
it's a great video. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is, when did you first discover Season 0 and how did you feel about it?
I discovered Season 0 sometime after I read the manga because I'm like, there has to be some sort of animated version of this. Because for those of you who haven't read the manga, there's like a whole bunch of story before the beginning of the Duel Monsters series that explains how Yugi met Joey and Tristan and the initial, you know, Yami Yugi coming out of the puzzle and like torturing people basically. And it was the manga's fantastic. I really loved the manga. When I saw Season 0, I was a little bit disappointed just because it's a lot goofier than the manga. Like there's a whole sequence in which there's like these 3 witches that show up, and it's never explained as to how there are witches in modern day Domino City in Japan. But there are witches. And Kaiba is even more obsessive than he is in the regular show. He disguises himself as an old man, kidnaps Yugi in his car, and then pulls the mask off like Mission Impossible. It's like, it's me. It's not an old man, it's Kaiba. Oh my god. Yeah, it's an interesting piece of Yu-Gi-Oh history, so I appreciated it for that. Thank you so much for coming to me. See you again. Please have a great weekend, and thank you so much. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much.